Hello and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. Today's podcast number 1882. The topic is Q&A and the title is Managing Diets for Special Conditions. I had someone reach out recently on the website. I gave them some information that I thought would be fun to share in a podcast. Okay, so here's what they sent in. Hi. I am a personal trainer new to the industry. I've been working out and have lots of experience in the gym, but just got certified as a PT almost a year ago. I have a gentleman that is wanting to lose weight. He has celiac. However, how might one go about working around this? Okay, so how are you going to help somebody lose weight when they have celiac disease? So celiac disease is basically gluten-free. They have to eat gluten-free. Depending on the severity, some people can have extremely horrible pains when they eat gluten. Others will just have like a discomfort, and others will start to have maybe some red blotchy skin, some irritation over time. So it kind of depends on the sensitivity. Everybody, often there's a wide variety of the symptoms in regards to severity. But celiac is essentially you're going to need to eat gluten-free. So what I wrote back in my response was, hi, and then the person's name. Thank you for reaching out. Celiac can be a challenge if the person is new to it, but really it's easy to work around. If you avoid gluten-containing foods but still hit proper calories, protein, and overall timing, they can make great progress. My wife has severe celiac but still has competed in women's physique shows and CrossFit. She's actually done a couple other things as well, but my wife does have severe celiac. Now, thankfully, I was familiar with this from a master's in nutrition and working with clients even before that. So I've worked with a lot of people with gluten sensitivity, a wide range of how sensitive they are, but we've worked through this quite a bit. I've helped family members with this as well. So it's something I'm very familiar with, and it's actually easy in the sense that for setting up how to diet around it is easy. It's not easy to deal with because, sometimes you don't get to eat certain foods, and that would be very nice to have. So it's not easy for the person dealing with it, but it's easy to set up a diet. So what I wrote to them was they could go to our website, www.brutalironGym.com. Now, they were actually on the website, so I didn't write this part. I knew they would know how to get to the website. But if you have not gone to our website, you can go to the website, www.brutalironGym.com. Go to Free Nutrition Education, and then the first document is Create Your Own Nutrition Program. Now, that document will use your body weight and your activity levels to figure out calories and protein, and then it talks about timing components. There's another podcast linked to it that you can listen to understand more of the steps. But that's what I told this person to do, was go to the website, use that document, but use their client's information to set up the calories and the protein. And then I said they could Google what foods contain gluten and make a list for the client as a foods to avoid list. Then make a good foods list, which would be basically anything that's not gluten and is considered relatively healthy food. So it's better than just handing them a do not eat list, that if somebody's just looking at what not to eat, it can feel a little overwhelming as to what to actually eat. So anytime I give somebody a do not eat list, I like to give them an do eat this list. So that way it's a little more positive. It's more helpful mentally and emotionally to say, oh, okay, I can still have this, I can still have this, I can still eat this, da-da-da-da-da. It's more of a positive feel. So we want to give them a good foods list, which is what I encourage this person to do. And then also you can write out sample meal ideas that fit their macros. So as the trainer would now understand what the client's calorie goals were, what their protein goals were, and then some concepts of timing, they could then figure out, oh, okay, in the first couple hours of the day, they probably want to aim for this many calories, this much protein. Here would be a couple common, like early in the day type foods, like breakfasty type foods. I could give them some sample meal structures. And I actually wrote that ChatGPT is helpful for this. You can actually open up an account with ChatGPT, and you can actually ask ChatGPT For example, let's say you're aiming for 500 calories with 25 grams of protein. You could say, ChatGPT, can you write for me 5 different breakfast options that would equate to around 500 calories with 25 grams of protein, and it'll do that. So that's a pretty quick, easy, simple thing. Now, the hard part of ChatGPT is you'd need to have already known the calories and the protein goal and know what to do per meal. So, for example, if your schedule allows for just breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that's it, you would divide your daily numbers by those 3 meals. But that's not really optimal. I find that it's better for people to have breakfast, maybe something small in the mid-morning. They have lunch, something small in the mid-afternoon, and then dinner. That tends to help prevent more overeating at night because they have a better chance to properly manage their calories throughout the day. So if you miss a little bit of breakfast, you can make it up in that mid-morning. If you miss breakfast and the mid-morning, you can make it up at lunch, the mid-afternoon, and supper. You have more chances to kind of adjust with whatever happened in your day, so you don't get to the end of the day, have not eaten anything, and then you want to eat everything. So I do like to push clients to have more frequent meals, 4 or 5 meals a day. Now, it doesn't mean a meal doesn't mean you have to sit down to eat. It can just be any time they put something in their face that has calories. So the more often we do that, you would then divide your total calories and protein by that number of meals. So you do need to know how many calories, protein, and number of meals per day, and then ChatGPT is very helpful. So it's a little bit of pre-work before ChatGPT would be helpful. But I asked them, I told them that these would be the steps to take. So quick review, just the 3 steps. Follow these steps on our Create Your Own Nutrition program for your clients' information, and I wrote them the link for that document. Then step 2, Google what foods contain gluten and make a list for the client as a foods to avoid list. Step number 3, write a good foods list with sample meal ideas that fit their macros. And I said ChatGPT is helpful for this. And then we just want to track what the client's doing, track the client's data, and aim to be consistent within their calorie range, their protein minimums, and then the timing, and they're going to get great results. So calories, protein, and timing are what we would track. That's going to be the same for everyone. It doesn't change really depending on the special condition. What really matters is calories, protein, and timing, and then you work within the special condition to make sure that those things can be met. So I then offered for that trainer to set up a free 15-minute consultation if they were interested. So we'll see if that turns out. But really, that's all we do for special conditions. It can be something as simple as realizing that the same rules apply to everyone: calories, protein, and timing. Then specific food choices do matter with special conditions. So what that means is, okay, if I have limits to, I have to be gluten-free. Well, can I choose foods that allow me to still balance my macros, meaning I can get enough protein in while not going over my total daily calories? This is actually something very hard for vegetarians and vegans. They can struggle and find it very difficult to not overconsume carbs and fats in order to hit their protein targets. Now, certain other conditions I've worked with where people, it kind of led them more to like a carnivore style diet where they're going to be eating really high protein. And I actually have had clients that struggle to eat enough carbs and fats, believe it or not. So we just kind of take it on a case-by-case basis. But once your calories, protein, and timing are accounted for, the things that we then start to look at is specific food choices to make sure that you have enough protein for your total calories. Then we also look at specific food choices to match the digestion rate of the food you're eating to the activity level at the time of the meal. So if I'm eating right before a workout, I want food that digests quickly. If I'm eating in the middle of a boring day and I'm not doing much, I want food that digests slowly. So that's important to consider, regardless of whatever food they can or can't have. And then a general concept is we want to aim for generally healthy options, not crappy options, because we're not just doing an if it fits your macros kind of diet where they can have Pop-Tarts and Cheetos, and as long as they're hitting their calories, it's okay. They're not going to feel good eating Pop-Tarts and Cheetos, and it's not going to teach them how to eat in a kind of healthy way for sustaining good blood work and overall digestion quality, overall energy sustainability throughout the day. So we do want to choose healthy options. When I'm talking about getting your calories, protein, and timing in, that doesn't mean that you can eat anything. Well, you technically could, and you'll still have weight change. You just might not maximize your body composition. You might not maximize your daily energy. Your digestion could be all over the place. You just might not feel good because you have high energy crashes. So food choices do matter, but if you're looking at weight change only, then food choices don't, as long as you're hitting your calories and protein. So those are the specific things we look at. And then, in general, what we're really looking for is consistency of better habits. Can the client just be a little more consistent with the proper calories than they've been in the past? Can they be more consistent with protein than they have been in the past? Can they be more consistent with timing than they have in the past? Can we make sure that we have enough protein for our total calorie count? Do we have the right protein percentage? Do the digestion rates match what we're eating versus what we're doing when we're eating? Are we eating generally healthy options? As long as we're just doing more of that better, they're going to get better results. And then we just tweak along the way as we feel like we need. A good tweak, for example, is if they're not super consistent with breakfast, maybe it's because they don't know easier, faster foods that would still hit their targets and their individual needs. So you just help them find easier to prep foods. Maybe they miss a good lunch because if they don't take lunch to work with them, they don't know what to eat. Okay, well, where do you work? What food, like what restaurants or fast food places are available nearby? If you have to get a chicken sandwich from a fast food place for lunch, that's a hell of a lot better than skipping it. And it's good to be prepared to understand that that's an option rather than saying, oh, hell, I don't know what to do. I'm just going to go to the local Mexican restaurant and eat my face off in guac and cheese. So we want to have healthy second options in mind so that way we just don't lose our mind and do crazy things. But I do realize when I say through this, it's going to sound like I'm making it super simple. I know it is not simple because it can be challenging to find the specific foods that have enough protein content that match your preferences, that match how you can cook or not cook, or how quick you have to eat, or if you have time to eat. It can be challenging making it work. But the concepts of what to do, like what to make work, are easy. They're the same as everyone else, as calories, protein, and timing. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful, kind of broke down some general thought process, and then that can give you a place to start. Remember, you can go to the website, www.brittleiron.gym.com, go to the free nutrition education page. The first document on that page is create your own nutrition program. So you can do that, go through that step, find out the calories, protein, and timing that works best for you. Then you would go through and find specific foods that balance the protein percentage for your total calories, that match the digestion rate for the meal times that you're having, and we want generally healthy options. And then, once you have all that, you would find foods that fit all that are easy to prep, that you actually like the taste of. Okay, now if you want help putting all that together, that is what I do. You can shoot me an email, brutalirongym@gmail.com, or you can check out our website. You can go to, I've said it 7,000 times already, so you can go to our website and look and see what we offer, but also we have a free 15-minute consultation available right now. So if you're considering to work with me, we can set up a 15-minute consultation. I want to learn more about you, what your goals are, what your struggles are, and then I can talk about how we can work together to overcome them. So it'd be pretty nice just to get to meet and just talk and see if everything would work out. If you're interested in that, just shoot me an email at brutalirongym@gmail.com. Okay, well, if you like the podcast, please share the podcast. If you like the podcast, please consider donating to support the podcast, which you can do on our website. And if you like the information that we share in the podcast, you can find more from us on our social media channels. You can find us and follow us on Instagram and YouTube under the name Brutal Iron Gym. As always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.